The country's top educators are being honored this week in Toronto. 40 people have been named as Canada's outstanding principals for 2018. Many have developed strategies to help students overcome anxiety and trauma. All have made significant differences in students' lives. Among the people being recognized are Kent Brewer from Twin Rivers Education Centre in Kamloops, BC, and Bonnie Hierlihy from Fairvale Elementary School in Rothesay, New Brunswick. Congratulations to both of you. It's great that you're here in studio with us this morning.
Thank you very much.
So I want to talk about how you got here, some of the initiatives at your school. Ken, let's start with you. You know, when I just remember back to when I was at school, and when you're sent to the principal's office, it can be a pretty scary thing. So talk to me about what you do that makes a little bit of a difference when students get to your door.
Well, when students are acting out, we want to take a proactive approach to what's causing those behaviors. I read recently that if you found out why students were acting like we don't think is proper, that you wouldn't be upset, you would be heartbroken by why that is. So we want to take a proactive approach to supporting students so that they have better tools to demonstrate how they're feeling.
So is that a question of you sitting down and just talking to the student about their lives?
I like to have just a chat with a student, get to know them, and hopefully you've done that front work where before they come to the office for something negative, you do have a relationship with them.
Bonnie, let's talk about wellness and how important that is in the programs that you've created at your school. Talk to me about what you've done with wellness.
Sure. So academics are important, but social emotional education is important as well. And so we've had a couple of initiatives. One of the things that we have done is we have purchased brain bikes, which are silent stationary bikes, put in each classroom, in each learning space to help students with self-regulation, help children who are anxious, tired.
We're looking at some of the, so this is what you're talking about, the bikes here, these stationary.
Yes, exactly. And that's a class that actually, the first picture was a class that actually had 2 in the class based on the needs of the students and the usage of it by the classroom teacher. And so they help students who are anxious, students who have a difficult time with self-regulation, and students whose ability to, be calm for the learning may not always be there. And so they hop onto the bike, they're there for 60 seconds, and they're ready to resume learning.
So whenever they could just hop on if they need to?
Exactly.
And there's fidgets too, fidget kits.
Yes, exactly. So we have fidget kits, 1 in each learning space as well, and the fidget kits would have 12 to 14 different tools, and children use them as they require them. And we certainly have rules for using fidgets and understanding the difference between a fidget and a toy. A toy is something that you have in your hand to help your hands stay calm, increase your ability to learn. Toys are something you look at and play with. So
you see, that's so interesting because I think, on the surface when you hear that you've got fidgets and bikes in the class, many people would say, well, that's distracting from the learning. But in fact, that is helping the learning process.
Exactly. It helps the children self-regulate and be better prepared to learn.
Ken, talk to me about counseling and how you've made that a priority because, as we all know, it is tough to reach out to get help at any age.
So we've looked at a community approach to supporting our students. It's 4:30 in the morning in BC right now, but later today, when class is in session, we have a wellness fair going on where we have 20 agencies from our community in the school doing booths and interactive workshop with students, and that aligns with Pink Shirt Day. So our wellness fair. So it's a complete wraparound approach to supporting our students. And on site, we have school counselors and we have drug and alcohol counselors as well for students that may be battling addiction.
You mentioned addiction naloxone kits. All staff have been trained to use those. Was that controversial when you introduced that plan?
Yeah, certainly some people have different views on whether educators should be trained with naloxone. Personally, I believe that we don't know when it's going to strike or where we may need to use that training. Fortunately, in our district, we've not had a situation where a student has overdosed in any of their schools, but tragically, we've lost a few students in our district from an overdose. And that's an issue that's happening right across the country right now.
Yeah,
and we want to be proactive to support it.
Speaking of support, Bonnie, let's talk about the fact that it's not only supporting the student or the child, reaching out to, as you say, the community and the parents. Talk to me a little bit about how you're involving the parents.
Sure. So we have a very engaged parent population and a very active home and school group as well as a parent school support committee. And every year we facilitate or host a session for parents on something that is of interest to them. There's usually a survey asking parents, what the top few issues that they may want to learn more about. And over the course of the last few years, we've had psychologists come in to speak about childhood anxiety. We had a developmental pediatrician come in and do a session on sleep and the importance of sleep. We had the police come in and do a session on internet safety and how to keep our children safe as they're navigating the internet. And we've recently had a session on self-regulation.
And strong support for those.
Strong support. The first year was only parents from our school, and then we had parents from neighboring schools talking to friends who would be parents of ours, students asking if they could come along. And so it went from an event for Fairvale Elementary families to the families in the greater community. And really, depending on the year, but we've had very great reception for that.
Okay, your students, some of them are, I know your students are probably, they're probably sleeping at this point. But for those watching, you want to say hi? Yes, probably.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Hi. Thank you for watching.
There you go. Yes, and congratulations to both of you. What does this recognition mean, Kent?
When I received the word that I was nominated, I was just overwhelmed that my peers would think that much of me. And I work in an amazing district in Kamloops, and we just have such a great team that it was just a reflection of having wonderful colleagues and in a great district, in a fantastic community. It's been a wonderful experience.
And for you, Bonnie?
It's been a tremendous honor. When I received the call from John, I was initially surprised, but certainly very happy that I was recognized. And again, the award is for me, but it validates all the great things that we're doing as a school's community to support the student and not only their academic needs, but the student as a whole, the whole child.
And the other thing I was thinking as you both were talking was the fact that the takeaway and the highlighting of what you guys are doing in your own communities and schools for other people to take a look in and see what you're doing and see if that could apply to their school, to their home, in their lives is really a great thing. So
Yes,
thank
exactly.
you both for being here. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you for
And
having
hello to all
us.
the students.
Thank you, Lindsey.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Go to
Hello,
class
Twin
now,
River.
right?
Thank you.
All right, come